Broadcasting live from the Albay PIO News Center, providing you the most exclusive news update from all over the province. This is News at 12. In the local scene, the Albay Sangguniang has approved an agreement that unifies local health systems across the province. The measure creates a single health framework that strengthens primary care and expands access to essential services for communities. The agreement also establishes a special health fund to pool resources for more efficient health service delivery. The Albay Provincial Health Office will supervise provincial and district hospitals to meet national licensing and field health standards. Officials said the initiative is expected to upgrade hospital operations and improve health outcomes for Albayanos. In other story, the provincial government of Albay is giving a monthly 6,000 pesos incentive to 25 community ALS implementers to support their work with out-of-school youth. The assistance covers July to December and helps volunteers reduce expenses for transport, supplies, and instructional needs. The program strengthens the alternative learning system by helping volunteers teach more effectively in barangay learning centers. Volunteers work with ALS coordinators and mobile teachers to guide learners and sustain participation. Officials said the initiative reflects the province's commitment to community-based education and youth empowerment. In other news, the provincial government of Albay has been honored with the Gold Seal of Protection Award for its strong disaster readiness and community protection efforts. Governor Noel Rizal received the award on behalf of the province in recognition of its preparedness programs and support for vulnerable communities. The recognition highlights Albay's continuing commitment to safety, resilience, and quality public service. Officials said the province will continue to strengthen systems that safeguard residents from natural hazards. In the national scene, a Manila ordinance prohibiting the use of balaclavas, face masks, helmets, caps, and hoodies within government offices and commercial establishments has drawn formal objections from a youth advocacy organization. The measure further requires motorcycle riders and passengers to remove their helmets upon disembarking to facilitate clear identification. City officials, including Mayor Francisco Moreno Dumagoso, assert that the policy serves as a crime deterrence mechanism by limiting the ability of individuals to conceal their identities. The Samahan ng Progresibong Kabataan, or SPARK, contends that the ordinance's vague and discretionary provision may enable profiling, arbitrary stops, and other potential abuses of authority. The group maintains that the policy poses risks to civil liberties by substituting a broad restriction for more transparent and rights-consistent approaches to public safety. Penalties for non-compliance include fines ranging from 1,000 to 5,000 pesos, the possibility of up to 15 days imprisonment, and potential revocation of a driver's license. In other story, the Philippine National Police has intensified coordination with international law enforcement to locate and arrest Cassandra Leong, a key figure in the Lucky South 99 Philippine offshore gaming operator shut down last year. Police Lieutenant General Jose Melancio Nartades Jr., Chief of the Philippine National Police, said authorities will do everything to bring Ong back to face charges against her. Ong is the subject of an Interpol red notice requesting assistance from foreign law enforcement to locate and detain her. She was last tracked in Japan in January after release from detention following the end of 19th Congress. She is now among the accused in a qualified human trafficking case which attracted public attention after Alice Guo, former mayor of Bamban-Tarlac and associates of Ong, was sentenced up to 40 years in prison for the same charge. Guo was also found to be a fake Filipino, having exploited the late birth registration system to obtain Philippine documents, leading to the cancellation of her birth certificate. Lucky South 99 was shut down last year over human trafficking allegations. Former presidential spokesperson and lawyer Harry Roque is also on the run due to alleged involvement. In other news, Senator Panfilo Ping Lacson urges the public to remain angry about government corruption while keeping their protest peaceful. He said continued public pressure is necessary to ensure authorities act against officials involved in questionable flood control projects, highlighting former Congressman Elizalde Co. Lacson confirmed that Co is being monitored internationally but cannot be arrested yet because Interpol has not issued a red notice. If Co is brought back to the Philippines, he could face the Blue Ribbon Committee, though discussions may be limited if the case reaches the Sandiganbayan. The senator also warned that the corruption could involve more than 2,000 officials, far higher than earlier estimates, and stressed that authorities must pursue the matter thoroughly to prevent a culture of impunity. And in the news outside the country, the World Health Organization WHO is set to vaccinate more than 40,000 children in Gaza, taking advantage of the current ceasefire. Since the campaign began on November 9, over 10,000 children under the age of 3 have already received vaccines. The first phase of the program, now extended until Saturday, targets protection against diseases including measles, polio, pneumonia, and hepatitis B. The second and third phases are scheduled for December and January in collaboration with UNICEF, the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, and Gaza's Health Ministry. The ongoing ceasefire has allowed health organizations to expand essential services and support the reconstruction of Gaza's heavily damaged health system. The truce, endorsed by the UN Security Council and facilitated by a U.S. plan, follows more than 2 years of conflict in the region. Since October 7, 2023, Israeli retaliatory attacks have killed over 69,500 Palestinians, with more than half of the victims reported to be women and children. On the Israeli side, 1,221 people, mostly civilians, have lost their lives. In other story, nearly 1 in 3 women worldwide have experienced physical or sexual abuse or violence, the World Health Organization warned. An estimated 840 million women have faced abuse from a partner or other perpetrators in their lifetime, with 316 million suffering intimate partner violence in the past year alone. The report showed that adolescent girls are particularly vulnerable, with 16% of those aged 15 to 19 experiencing partner violence. Women in poorer countries and areas affected by conflict or climate disasters face the highest risks. Oceania has the worst rates, with 38% of women reporting intimate partner violence, while global average stands at 11%. Funding for prevention remains critically low, with only 0.2% of global development or aid targeted at violence prevention. WHO officials warn that urgent action is needed to protect millions of women living in fear. And finally, in the news outside the country, Japan and the Philippines are deepening their military partnership through a new Reciprocal Access Agreement, RAA, allowing forces from both countries to operate on each other's territory. The first joint drill under the pact took place in October 2025, covering air, land, naval, and cyberspace operations. Japan has also offered to sell up to 6 Abukama-class destroyers to the Philippines to strengthen military or maritime security. The agreement comes amid rising tensions with China, particularly in the South China Sea, where territorial disputes remain unresolved. Recent joint exercises involving the Philippines, Japan, and the U.S. drew strong criticisms from Beijing. Japan has faced pressure from China following remarks by Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi regarding Taiwan, leading China to halt Japanese seafood imports and advise its citizens against traveling to Japan. Analysts suggest Beijing is using diplomatic and economic measures to influence both Japan and the Philippines. For the Philippines, the primary focus is on safeguarding its interests in the South China Sea, while the Taiwan issue presents a potential risk due to the country's significant population in Taiwan. No specific military plans have been outlined for that scenario. And that's all for the News at 12, November 24, 2025. We'll be back tomorrow for more news updates. Thanks to our news writer, LJ Lurejo and Naomi Ruth Hernandez. And on the technical side, Chad Bobis. And our Provincial Information Officer, OIZ Marty Gonzalez. And under the supervision of our Governor, Noel E. Rosal. I am Greg Hallare. Thank you for subscribing.